Welcome back to Module 5 of Being a Working Parent. This time, we're going to look at what it takes to be an effective working parent. So here are some ideas for handling being a working parent. Accept that you are a working parent and stop feeling guilty. Turn down all those inner voices that say things like, "Oh, good parents stay at home and always put their children first." "Oh, good parents never lose their temper because they're tired after a hard day at work." You need to banish your big G gremlin, of guilt, and you need to replace it with a kinder, soothing voice saying something like, "Do you know what? I'm doing my best and I love my kids." Don't allow other people to make you feel guilty either, especially those at work. You may have to leave work at 5:15 because you're a mum or a dad and you have to pick up your child from their nursery or from school, not because you're shirking your work responsibilities. When you put appointments in your diary, don't apologise for not being available on the days you have family or childcare responsibilities. It sends out the wrong message. Just say, "I'm available on Tuesday or Thursday next week." You sound far more professional and in control, and people don't need to know your business. Ignore the research and reports that tell you about the devastating effects of working mothers or working parents that have on their children. For every doom and gloom report, there are lots of others that tell a very different story. The most important factor in a child's development isn't whether or not their mum or dad goes out to work, but whether or not their mum or dad is happy. So if you enjoy the mental stimulus, the personal satisfaction, or the financial security of working, just keep doing it. But do get really good childcare, as this gives you peace of mind and gives you stability and reassurance. You don't want to spend time at work worrying about your child. So it's worth spending time looking at a range of different nurseries or childminders or ways of having children looked after to find the one that really feels intuitively right for you and for your child. Remember, the quality of the carers is far more important than the quality of their resources. Always go with your gut feeling on things like this and trust your intuition. It's usually spot on. Now also get the support of your partner, because when your child is sick, you don't want to waste time arguing about whose job is more important, and make sure that you always have a fallback position with a friend or a relative in case of an emergency or an unexpected event. Now, this is often a really hard thing for people to do, but let your standards slip a little. It's not possible to be a working mum or dad and have a perfect home. If you try and aim for this, you'll burn yourself out. Get help if you can afford it with the ironing or the cleaning. It's time that you might need to free yourself up from. So find ways to delegate some of the household jobs. Even ask the kids to help, which is good for their sense of capability and competence and feeling part of your family team. Explain to your kids the reasons why you go out to work so they can see life from your perspective. It's essential that you develop a good support network of family, friends, neighbours and people around you that can help you out in a childcare crisis and offer to do the same for them. Reduce your morning stress. Get everything ready the night before. Make the packed lunch, iron the school sports kit, polish the shoes and leave out the trainers by the door ready. Don't waste valuable time hunting for things last minute. That is very stressful. And leave an extra supply of nappies or clothes with your childminder or your relative or your nursery, if you can, if you have very young children. The secret here is planning ahead all the time. Also, know your rights. Parents of children under 6 now have the right to ask their employer to consider flexible working hours. Always focus on the positive. If you've had a bad day, make a list of all the positive reasons that you go out to work and think of a different or a good day when everything went well, and write down what you like best about those days, because it gives you a sense of balance and a different and wider perspective to your life as a whole. A bad day is not a bad life. Be clear, be focused, and be happy deliberately. Don't undermine your worth by comparing yourself with others. We're all different, and that makes us all special and unique and wonderful. Don't set your goals by what other people deem to be important. Only you know what's best for you and for your family. Don't let your life slip through your fingers by living in the past or by living in the future. Live your life one day at a time, and then you live all the days of your life fully. Now, don't give up when you still have something to give. Nothing is really over until the moment you stop trying. So don't give in to, I can't make any changes, it's just the way it is. You have choices. And don't be afraid to admit that you're less than perfect. It is this fragile thread that binds us to each other. No one is perfect. And don't be afraid to encounter risks, because it's by taking chances that we learn how to be brave. Don't shut love out of your life by saying it's impossible to find. The quickest way to receive love is to give it, and the fastest way to lose love is to hold on to it too tightly. And the best way to give love is to give it wings. So remember that for your children. We give them roots, but we also give them wings. Another little tip is don't rush through your life so fast that you forget not only where you've been, but also where you're going. And don't forget that a person's greatest emotional need is to feel appreciated. So thank people if they help you. And don't be afraid to learn. Knowledge is weightless. It's a treasure that you can always carry easily. And be mindful about using your words carelessly, because they can't be retrieved to partners or to children. I hope it helps to remember that life is not a race, but a journey to be savoured each step of the way. As they say, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. I think we're so busy rushing about that we do forget to stay grounded in the present. And I spend a lot of time working with stressed and guilty working parents, looking at their time management. And once they've got that back under control, everything else seems to fall into place. The kids' homework gets done easily, meal times are less fraught, kids seem more obliging and accommodating, and parents start enjoying their parenting again and even beginning to smile once in a while. So the secret is to keep it simple, have a routine, and plan your time out the night before, keeping the whole process moving swiftly with clarity, so everyone knows what's expected of them. Don't be a martyr. Spread the load amongst the family. Stay centred in where you are. So if you're at work, be there 100% in your attitude, your energy and your commitment. Don't start worrying about the ironing at home. And if you're at home, don't start worrying about the to-do list waiting for you on Monday morning. Enjoy the game of Cluedo and relax with your kids. Stay centred on them. Loads of stress comes from people not focusing on the moment and being fully present. Remember, it's also about relaxing, smiling and being flexible if it all goes wrong. You only have one life, so make the most of it. Don't get too bogged down in labelling yourself as a working mum or a workaholic dad. Just be happy in all the different roles that you play and try and balance them out. So that was a lot of suggestions, wasn't it? I hope you don't feel overwhelmed. You don't have to try to do them all at the same time. Just pick the ones that feel right for you at this moment and that they're relevant to your situation. You can come back to this e-course any time, in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and run it through again, because things will have changed and different things will come up that didn't come up this time. So I'll see you in the next module when we'll be turning problems into possibilities. See you then.